Hello, guys. It's NautoAce here, and it's December the 31st, 2022. So that means this is going to be a special classic thought slash rewind for the end of the year. So, like I said before, my update video, this particular topic is going to be something that already happened in the past in early 2018. You can even tell by the way I talk, the quality of the sound of the video is really kind of like I'm using older equipment. And since this is also a rewind, so there's going to be a lot of like changes, upgrade, if you can say, because during the video itself, when I'm talking, I'm going to be omitting certain topics and name just out of consideration in their safety, because like as of right now in 2022, I don't really believe what I said that on those videos, but in 2018 it was a different story. So like I said, this particular situation took place in early 2018, where two YouTubers that I know, one of them I follow, one of them I used to, and like I said, even as of right now in 2022, sadly I'm not really a fan of this person. So first of all, AlphaOmegaSin, you should know by now who this person is. He is anonymous on YouTube. He is well known. Good friends of the Game Chaser. Good friend of 8-Bit Eric. And usually his video is all about giving his thoughts. Kind of like what I'm doing on my secondary channel. I know I got his idea, so sorry to some extent. But yeah, so he kind of does the same thing in the past, that he gives his opinion on certain situation. But then lately, I think starting in 2020, I could be wrong, he kind of slowed down. And from what I understand, and I could be wrong, he just wasn't into it. So that's it. So, but he is actually very active on Twitter from what I heard. So that's what AlphaOmegaSin is. So am I still a fan of him, or am I a fan again? Sadly, no, but some of the topic he did talk about, it is interesting. So, and like I said, he just kind of like, from what I understand, it just wasn't into it to what it is in the past. Things happen like that. And another one on this subject is MmGS. So, yeah, this is the guy that I follow since 2008. Early years, he does a lot of videos, same deal. He does rant, he gives his opinion, he does reviews, and he does videos for fun. And as of right now, what's happening with him is more focused on his passion than doing videos. He does like doing videos, but it's just for him like, same deal. He's mostly doing what his passion is. And if you really want to be like following him, what's going on, he is more active on the Discord, the MmGS Discord channel. So if you're interested, I can put the links in the description box for it. So, yes, both of them to some extent are not very active on YouTube. And, I mean, if you want to follow them, like I said, links on the description box. So, why am I talking about this particular two YouTubers that are famous? Well, like I said, in early 2018, there was a controversy for both of them. And apparently there was a long history about this too. So, even like before this happened, and it kind of just went on Twitter in 2018. And that's a key thing there. And from what I understand, what happened is one of AlphaOmegaSin's fan kind of pointed out AlphaOmegaSin what Megas said. And he reacted negatively, I guess frustrated. And some people did say that the reason that happened, again, I'm just hearing this from other people, that he had a bad day at work or some bad off day, and he was just frustrated. And then, of course, the locomotion starting, and you couldn't really stop it. And then there was sort of a Twitter war. Fans were attacking fans, friends attacking friends, from what I understand. By the time I heard all the story was already done, it was already cooled down. And there was a mediator that stepped up and helped them make peace, and they did. So a lot of this what happened. They were done. They made an agreement. They said, hey, you know what? All right, we don't have to like each other, but it's just best to just stay in our lane. So that's what they did. They separate their ways, and that was it. And yeah, for a while, there were videos about, well, to some extent, MmGS X1. I like you, man. You're cool. But that was kind of weird what you did in the past. He did some video about Alpha, but then he did remove it. I explained it on the main video. And yeah, so the agreement basically was, after the mediator stepped in, was, all right, let's cool down. I think we just went off the wrong foot. And the agreement is, let's just not talk about each other. Let's go our separate ways, and that's it. And that was it. So that was done. So with that said, here it is. A classic / rewind thoughts about MmGS X1 versus AlphaOmegaSin, a Twitter war of early 2018. And then after that, I'm going to give more info, tidbit, epilogue on the situation and why I did what I did at a time there. Hello guys, NautoAisDx here, and yes, if you're watching this video, yes, I am watching MmGS X1's latest video on AlphaOmegaSin. Okay, why am I even doing this? Well, I'm really interested in MmGS X1's opinion on AlphaOmegaSin. I know, drama, but the reason also is this is going to be a teaser that I guess for me it's also time to do it. I've been also thinking about this because I'll give my reason on that vlog. And what is it? My opinion, my own opinion about AlphaOmegaSin. Yes, this is going to be controversial, so if you're a fan of AlphaOmegaSin, then stay away. But here's a disclaimer. I have no problem with the guy. Believe it or not, I did have interaction with that guy like twice, max. But I knew people I have respect on YouTube that dislike the guy, and I got some who likes him, 50-50. I want to give my thoughts about this guy in a neutral position. So, like I said, I don't hate the guy, not like MmGS X1 here. There is some questionable about him, per se, and I'll give my thoughts on that vlog. So again, yes, this is a teaser on my secondary channel, MmGS vlog in response. It's going to be a response to MmGS X1, giving my personal opinion about AlphaOmegaSin, and I will be objective to the best of my ability about it. But there are questions about this guy. I don't hate the guy. I don't respect the guy either. I have no problem with the guy. But there are some things that kind of concern me, so I'm going to give my thoughts about it. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one. And, yes, I know I'm jumping the bandwagon, but, hey, a lot of people are already giving their opinion. Why not me? So, again, it's all about business here. There's nothing personal. I never met the guy in person or what he does. I only going to give my opinion about what he does on YouTube. So, stay tuned for that one. Hello guys, NautoAisDx here once again, and if you follow my Twitter and a video on my main channel, like a teaser vlog, yes, so it's time. It is time. Oh boy. So before I even start with this vlog, and it's basically about a YouTuber. Okay, normally my policy, I do try to tend to step away giving my opinion about YouTubers unless there's like a certain situation, like kind of like it's interesting and I just want to give my thoughts about it. But for this particular one, it's the whole package on this particular YouTuber. So again, disclaimer is here that if you're a fan of AlphaOmegaSin, if you're a fan of him, you respect the guy, you look up to this guy, you're inspired to go to YouTube because of this guy, then I highly suggest, click back, and there are other videos that I can provide that you're interested. Again, I'll be talking about a YouTuber here, so again, it does get dangerous territory, so you gotta be careful with that. I have to be careful with that. Second, I have no problem with AlphaOmegaSin. Alright, so before I even start with this, here's my countdown. Again, if you're a fan of AlphaOmegaSin, click back now. Click back now if you don't want to hear my opinion about it. Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Alright, so I'm going to give my opinion on AlphaOmegaSin. And why is that? Why now? Why not before? What's going on? Well, for one thing, that I've been watching some of his video and I want to get more information of his beliefs and stuff and where his position is. So, well, I've been watching some of his video to see if it's informative, if it's not, it's clickbait, who knows. That's one reason. Second was, a guy that I do follow and respect, MmGS X1. I followed this guy since 2008. He made a video about it, giving his opinion, because from what I heard, a lot of people want his opinion about it. I mean, he had his reason, and of course the video gave his reason, because I guess a lot of people want to know, they were curious, and just to make it better, I'm not, because my belief is if you hate someone for a reason, that's your personal reason, so I'm not going to bug with that. Plus, another reason also was, and MmGS X1 basically said this on his video, watch Sounded Rob's video. Oh my god, that name, Sound Rob. Yeah, it's another old YouTuber, well known during 2008. And apparently he's a good, or supposedly a good friend of AlphaOmegaSin. Both of them used to be in a podcast called the Hate Bit Podcast with 2 other people, Razor Fist, and I have no idea who the 4th member, sorry. So, there you go. And they were like, I guess, good friend, but apparently at one point there was some fallout. Silent Rob kind of like really basically just said, he basically, the video itself that I watched was F AlphaOmegaSin. I'm like, wow. So he gave his reason, listen to it. I want to see the haters, why they hate AlphaOmegaSin. Then that's the reason why I'm like, okay, time to give my point, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people who don't like AlphaOmegaSin. There are people who like him, there are some people who don't. And the people I follow on Facebook, who are a friend of MmGS X1, the majority of people, yeah, believe it or not, they don't like AlphaOmegaSin. They think this guy's, mostly they call him smug, egotistic, he thinks he's better than someone else. What else? He thinks he's better than someone else. Something like that, because people were saying, because he basically befriended the Game Chasers, AVGN, Mike Matei. Who else? I guess, there are other people. Again, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to be neutral here because I am neutral, so that's the spoiler here. But people say ever since he teamed up with them, like, oh yeah, he's struggling his ego. Again, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know the guy personally. I only know him what I see on the internet. So with that is the reason why I decided it's time for me to do my my opinion about it. So I'll be objective to the best of my ability, and I will be neutral to my best of my ability here. So basically, the big question is, what do I think of AlphaOmegaSin? Well, like I said, I'm neutral here. One is sort of 50%, he's informative. Sometimes he just ran on because, he just feel like it. But I kind of feel some of his rant, he does have passion. He has passion for video game. He's a gamer just like me, but he's very, very passionate about gaming, that he respects gaming, he respects the developer. And when it comes to the corporate, to the company with video game, he disliked them, they call them out. And again, the guy tends to speak his mind, so does MmGS X1. There's nothing wrong with that. He gives his own opinion, but sometimes it is questionable that he tends to be biased, depends on the subject. So what do I mean by bias? Well, one example I remember was, he always says that, and I always agree with him, if you don't like something in a video game or anything, you vote with your wallet. So when he basically talked about Metroid Prime Federation Force last year, he just said,
what was the best solution to give them an answer to not support the game? You vote with your wallet. Okay, so he always says that. He always respects that. But then there was another video he did, and he got upset because Capcom was doing Breath of Fire 6 on the mobile game. So, I mean, he probably loved the series. I get it. And someone did say to him, well, AlphaOmegaSin, it is unfortunate that one of your favorite games is on mobile. Well, just vote with your wallet and don't support the game. And the response he got, and I read it, is this is the reason why some franchise doesn't exist, because you don't support the company. See, that's what I'm saying, bias. If the game that he doesn't care, he'll say, hey, yeah, vote with your wallet. Because for me, I got company that I trying to support, but I can't. I.e., Namco Bandai, Tecmo Koei, no dub, no buy. So I'm going to vote with my wallet. I'm not going to buy the game full price. I'm going to wait for a clearance. So maybe he's probably going that direction. Probably not. But when the franchise is he likes, he respects, he's not going to say, oh, vote with your wallet. And he basically is going to say, yeah, if you don't support this franchise, they're going to disappear. And I guess in his opinion, he probably just doesn't want, he's afraid it might disappear. So, yeah, I mean, a little bit of bias there, kind of question there. So, again, I don't know where he stands. I guess it's a case-by-case basis. So, there you go. All right, so some people said, wow, this guy sounds like a dictator. He basically, whatever he said, Alpha say, he say so, it right. Alpha say, it's always right. Okay, he may sound like that, but technically he doesn't. He never really said that he's always right. I mean, there are some videos he said he's never right. He just basically said he's just, the props I have to give to Alpha about this one is, he basically says, hey, you agree with me? Cool. You don't agree with me? Cool. Call me a piece of crap. I don't care. Unsubscribe to me. I don't care. I'm just giving my opinion, and there you go. Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, yeah. You don't agree with what he's saying. You don't like it. You don't support them. There you go. So him basically saying that a dictator, well, that's kind of far-fetched in my opinion. Because he never really said he's always right. And he never always said, that he basically saying that he never said that he's always right. So that's props to AlphaOmegaSin there. Yeah, him being a dictator, that's kind of far-fetched in my opinion. He doesn't expect people to agree with him all the time, but he doesn't really care at the same time. He states his opinion, and he moves on. All right, so another thing that people might say, Alpha has an ego. All right, so maybe he does. I just don't see it yet, because there was a video that Alpha did a long time ago about Xbox 360, doing a 4 gig with a Kinect, and he didn't like it. He thinks it was stupid, in his opinion. Samuel the Geek basically called him out on it. I think even one point was calling him names, but he said that you don't know squat. What are you saying? Yeah, and Alpha basically, believe it or not, commented on his video and just said, first one, he didn't really care what called him out. He called him name. He didn't really care. And second, he's just trying to explain more what he's trying to say. So, I don't know the ego. Again, maybe he does have an ego. He's just basically trying to counter-attack what Samuel Geek says. And that's it. And then they just moved on. All right. About Smug. Yeah, it could be a possibility about Smug, he sounds smug. And again, if you don't like the guy, don't follow the guy, don't watch his video. But again, the guy speaks his mind. And second, he doesn't care what people think. So maybe the smug thing comes from there, but at the same time, like he said, he doesn't care what people think, what his opinion is. He doesn't give a hoot about it. He just wants to state his opinion, and he moves on from it. I mean, there you go. That's really it. So, again, yeah, I have to agree with MmGS X1 about this one. He is smug, but at the same time, And he doesn't really care what people think about him. Okay, does he really support his fans? I really have no idea. This one, he doesn't respond to fans like that. Well, he did mention that, and even he was hanging on with 8-Bit Eric, one of the Game Chaser, and some other guy. And a lot of them, in the majority, they did say that when you have a lot of replies, it's kind of hard to reply back. So that's probably it. But from what I heard, he doesn't really reply. Like, when someone talks crap about him, let's just say, he doesn't talk back from what I heard. Again, I don't know. I don't really read all the comments. I just watch the video and I put my comments and I just move on. And yeah, I mean, if it is true he blocks comments, he deletes comments, kind of sad. Again, I don't know. Gonna stay away from that one. I do understand that he does get a lot of comments, so it's hard for him to reply back. So yeah. So yeah, and again, so about censorship, I don't think he dislikes censorship just like me. So I don't think he deletes comments, in my opinion. But again, I don't know. Staying away from that one. Okay. So a lot of time is the style he talks. Oh, he cuts like a sailor. So does MmGS Extend. So does other people. Who cares? So move on. It's his video. He can say whatever he wants. Okay, the way he talks is that it's not that he'll make a made-up counter like, oh yeah, like you're gonna support this, and then he basically calls him name. Yeah, it's one of his style he does for argument's sake. Again, yeah, it is questionable he does that. Like, well, the one that's top of my head, and I don't even want to bring this up, but the only thing that sparked in my head was, remember the guy who got in trouble in Facebook, and he had to go to jail for the post. Unfortunately, it was an inappropriate post. So, yeah, I mean, of course, AlphaOmegaSin didn't like that. I mean, who does? I mean, that's kind of scary. You say something like that, even if it's a joke, and then you go to jail for it. Ugh. But during the video in the argument, he basically trying to counter himself by saying that people, like when some people say, oh yeah, he deserved it because he said something stupid. And then he tends to basically call him out, said, yeah, you're really stupid for believing that. But again, you gotta, for that one, it is questionable, but you gotta read the lingo, like who's gonna actually, like, in case with the one with the Facebook with the guy, who's gonna basically side with the cop for a guy he just didn't make inappropriate joke? I mean, I know people make inappropriate joke, but a joke's a joke. You go to jail for it? I mean, I don't think nobody could support that. But apparently, according to him, there might be people who'll be like the other side of the penny. And he always calls them like idiots. Yeah, I think that's going too far. I have to agree that is going too far. I think that's what the smug part is. But a lot of time, like I said, this guy sometimes passionate. His videos sometimes when he gets mad, he's always heating up a moment. And he just doesn't like, I guess the word is injustice. I mean, if you're white knighting, I don't know. But like injustice to some extent, I guess. I mean, I get that. That's just his style, That's AlphaOmegaSin's style. I mean, I don't really agree with a lot of his videos, but again, it is his opinion. That's all there is to it. Alright, so another one, basically, people said, oh, well, if he got caught a mistake, he went with the video. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, for me personally, what I do, if I made a mistake, I'll always correct myself in a follow-up video. I think AlphaOmegaSin should have done that instead of just removing it. Because I have to agree, when you remove it, you kind of like send the wrong message. But again, I knew some people also that did the same thing. I know one, but I'm not going to give a name. He's a Power Ranger fan. And there was a April Fool about Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, which is Super Mega Force. They thought it was real, and until, yes, April 1st, he gave his, and yes, he gave his, like, thoughts, but then he found out it was April Fool. He removed the video. I mean, I can see a lot of reasons why. Like, one is, it was a mistake, it was irrelevant, it's not needed, we don't need to spread, like, false news about it. But at the same time, by removing a video, you kind of made like, oh, your video suck, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed. I mean, guilty sometimes. Believe it or not, I had to remove some video for a while in the past. But they were like dangerous territory, so I had to do it. I mean, same thing with MmGS Extend. He said it. He had video that he had to be he had to remove because it was dangerous territory. That's it, and that's same here. But if I make I mean, this is for me, whether it's a video game or a vlog. If I said something that was a mistake, let me know, correct me, and I'll make a note of it, or I'll basically do a follow up. And I done it with sometimes, follow up. Oh yeah, I made a mistake, so apologies for that. There you go. Yeah, I mean, if AlphaOmegaSin can go to that approach, basically just apologize. Oh, apologies, I made a video and I jumped the gun. Maybe much better, but again, each one have their own style, each one have their own personality, and I guess for Alpha, he just felt like, yeah, it's better just to remove it than just leave it, and people get the wrong idea. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, those are some, those are my opinion. Like I said, with the Samuel the Geek, when he replied to Samuel Geek, he just said he just trying to, he just basically gave more points. Let's see what else. Oh, he's always right. He's a dictator. He never once said that he's always right. He just believe his opinion. That was it, his own opinion, and he moves on from it. Like I said, he doesn't care if he loses subscribers. He has haters. He even said it himself. He got death threats from people because all he does, in the end of the day, is he makes his opinion and he shares them and he moves on from it. Yeah, that's it. What else? Well, the way he saw is that he trying to contradict, and he calls the people who don't agree with him idiots. Yeah, like I said, that is questionable. Like I gave I give him an example for the Facebook with the guy, but you also have to think logically. What if you're in that shoe? Also, how would you feel? I mean, is it cool? Is it not cool? Or another one is Konami, basically treating Kojima like crap. I mean, would you like that to happen to you? I mean, you just have to read the lingo of the situation. Oh, there's another. Yeah, there is one thing I do agree, and I forgot about this. Oh my gosh, is entitlement. Oh boy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. As consumer, we have some sort of sense of entitlement because of our money. Because we gave them a hard-earned cash, we want the game to our preference to some extent, or a good preference that everybody can enjoy. Yes, this part here is entitlement. I have to agree that sometimes AlphaOmegaSin tends to go far with its entitlement, and I'm going to explain this one. The good example is Konami going mobile. Okay, well, Konami went mobile. It's a business. What can you do? So, AlphaOmegaSin basically made a rant, and he basically, in the end, he just said, Konami, F you, Konami, F you, People made, remix video of that. So, he doesn't like Konami going mobile. Well, who does? I mean, I knew a friend, they don't agree. But he went too far by saying, oh, if it wasn't for us gamer who grew up in the 80s, there wouldn't be Konami. True to that, but again, at the end of the day, Alpha, it's a business. They do what works for them. Any company don't owe you anything. It sucks, but it is what it is. Konami basically go to mobile, think it's a good business for them, so they don't owe you anything. I mean, it is sad. I mean, I played some of the games that I like. Radius, Goemon, Ninja Turtle, Blade of Steel, Gradius, Proteus, but now they're going to mobile, so we can't do anything about it. I mean, yeah, we may be entitled, but we're not over entitled. You basically you're telling the company, oh, if it wasn't for us, there wouldn't be Konami, there wouldn't be Capcom. No, I mean, yeah, we're willing to give them money if it's something we like. If we don't like anything, then we don't give them money. That's really it. And again, it goes back to the bias part, that if it's something that AlphaOmegaSin likes, he won't follow the belief of vote with your wallet. He's just going to say, well, you got to support this company because they'll disappear. But, I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have it both ways. if the company basically felt like, oh, well, we have to basically go do this approach because we need to make money, and there's nothing we can do. We just vote with our wallet. So, yeah, I mean, he tends to get over entitled. I do agree with that. He needs to come back off a bit with that one. Sorry, nothing personal. But, yeah, I mean, because same goes with VTech USA, oh, it was for us. I mean, dude, you sound like you're very entitled. Yes, we are entitled, but not to the extreme. I mean, you got to understand, it's also a business. I mean, I don't recall Konami saying, Alpha, you better buy our game. Review Tech USA, you better buy our game or you're going to go to jail. No. It's basically, oh, Alpha, simulate greedier. So, hey, buy our game, we'll make more. Something like that. So, again, those are my opinion about Alpha. Like I said, I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with the guy. It is a question for some what he says. But again, in the end of the day is, if you don't agree with AlphaOmegaSin, don't subscribe to him. Don't watch his video. He doesn't care. He just gives his opinion and he moves on. So maybe you're a fan and you listen to this. All right, awesome. And then you want to know, is Alpha really a jerk, or he has an ego or whatever? I mean, all of the I'm giving my opinion is Alpha of what he does on YouTube. As AlphaOmegaSin as a person, I never met the guy. I did have interaction with him twice with him. Two was a question on YouTube. He actually answered my question. And one is, I did like a Mario Kart 8 video with using AlphaOmegaSin as a me. Basically plugged him. I don't know why he did that, but whatever. And yeah, he liked it. He put a favorite. Props. Thanks, Alpha. But that's the only interaction I ever had with the guy. I never talked to the guy. Only 2 comments, and that was it. That's all it is. And yeah, I mean, like I said, if you want to know more about Alpha, I mean, judge for yourself what he does on YouTube. But if you met him in real life, then hey, maybe you can share them because, hey, the guy is a YouTube sensation, according to Pat the NES Punk. And another thing you could probably also is go ask his other friends. Ask James Rolfe, Mike Matei. They're friends with him. What else? 8-Bit Eric, the Game Chasers. There you go. I mean, Game Chaser, they're the nice guy. Go ask the Game Chaser and maybe they can tell you what they think about AlphaOmegaSin. I mean, yeah. So again, if you listen to it, you're my hero. Like I said, it's nothing personal to AlphaOmegaSin. I'm just giving my opinion here. I don't have a problem with him. There are things that it is questionable. Again, my personal opinion, that's it. So with that, again, apologies for anyone who's a fan of AlphaOmegaSin and who listened to this. And hopefully this is the last video I'm going to do with Alpha. And after this, I'm moving on. So anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. Hello guys, NautoAisDx here, and this is going to be a follow-up on my thoughts on AlphaOmegaSin. Okay, so basically, there was some new, I guess, whoops, unprofessional on my part. After watching MmGS X1, Silent Rob, and I decided to watch more videos about AlphaOmegaSin because apparently there's a lot of people who are doing this, and I guess ever since Silent Rob decided to do his video, I love some of the YouTubers that I follow, that I'm a fan of, within the, well, let's just say, in my community, YouTube community. Yeah, they speak out, they gave their thoughts about Alpha, and apparently there's some more more pointer in here. Apparently one that, first of all, I said this in the main video that Silent Rob and Alpha used to be like best friend apparently. And apparently the news was also that AlphaOmegaSin was inspired to go to YouTube because of Silent Rob. It could be also that AlphaOmegaSin also was inspired because of the AVG, because he does mention him. Again, who knows? That's whatever, Alpha. And again, remember, like I said, he was also a good friend of Fist. And another one I just found out, Yellow's Chaos. Yellow Yolks. I do forget it. He's the main host of the Hate Bit podcast, which apparently, yeah, it's 10 months ago. The last one was 10 months ago. So, yeah, so you gotta see what's going on, because apparently some people, again, I kind of said it in the main channel, apparently that some people think, I don't know, like I said, I don't know the guy personally. I only know what he does on YouTube, and it is kind of questionable. And like I said, I only had 3 interactions with him. 2 was a reply from him, and 1 was he basically checked my post when I post something on his Twitter. That's it. Again, I don't know if he's a bad guy or not. I don't think he's a bad guy, but just a lot of people just kind of rub him the wrong way. Again, who knows? But the thing that was a concern, that people are saying that the reason why that he's no longer friend with like San Rob, I don't know about Razor Fist or his other friends, is because when he started hanging around with, I guess I'm gonna go here and call the Retroware gang, because they're like in this community, the Game Chasers, 8-Bit Eric, the AVGN, Mike Matei, who else? Yeah, I mean, there you go. Ever since he hang around with them, I guess he's what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I guess I'm just gonna be nice and say ignored his real friends, who what made AlphaOmegaSin, I guess. So I mean, if that's true, kind of sad. Because it's one of those. It's really kind of sad. This is a cliche thing. You got popular with the popular kids, so you're forsaking your real friends for the popular one. Again, maybe I'm just making this up. Maybe I'm just speaking from my butt. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know him personally. But like I said, if it's true, that's kind of messed up. I mean, that's really not cool. Just because now I'm with the big boys. I mean, are the Game Chasers popular? Yeah. Bad Yanis, Punk, and Ian, yeah, they're popular. Of course, AVGN. But again, just because they're popular, it doesn't mean they're bad people. Again, I mean, unless you probably know them in person, you probably know the person, you probably have a different opinion. But again, maybe Alpha knew who Mike Matei, he knew now AVGN because he's hanging out with them, and they say, they're not really bad people. Again, there's always 2 things when you see a person. What they do is what you see in the internet, and as a person. Like I said, I can't really say what I think about AlphaOmegaSin as a person, because I never met the guy in person. I only know him when I see him on YouTube, and right now it's questionable what I see him on YouTube. So a lot of people were complaining about his content. Yeah, like I said before in the main channel, that right now, ever since there's an interesting topic, he'll just give his opinion. Well, I kind of do the same thing with my MmGS blog. I mean, thank you if I got views for it, but I don't know what the difference, but I don't know. Well, when I do it from the heart. I really want to give my opinion about it. Again, it's not about views. I just want to give my opinion, and I just move on from there, Again, that's just me. You decide, again, like I said. I mean, the reason why I started doing the MmGS blog was I just want to give my opinion, share it to the gaming community, YouTube, and then I just move on from it. Like Amiibo, King of Fighter 14, E3, Nintendo. Yeah, so again, that's kind of like, wow. Again, I mean, I don't know yet. And another best thing is, say you're a fan of the Game Chaser, 8-Bit Eric. You subscribe to them. Try to send them a message, a Twitter. Hey, what do you think about AlphaOmegaSin? Is he really this jerky guy that a lot of people say or not? You just make your decision. Okay, so then another thing is Samuel the Geek, another guy, a good friend of MmGS X1. Guess what? The guy also is an asshole. And the props I want to give to Samuel the Geek is, he did he called it Samuel Ramble, and he admitted, he said, yeah, I am. I don't care. I know I am. I know I'm an a-hole. That's just who I am. So, I mean, the same goes with, I think, with Review Tech USA, is that he is well aware that he is an a-hole. he doesn't care. He'll give his opinion and he just moves on. That's all there to it. So again, my thoughts with AlphaOmegaSin. I just, like I said, it's informative to some extent, but I don't always think I believe it's right. He doesn't care. I don't respect the guy. Again, he doesn't care. He changed his friends. That's his own life. I don't know what's happening behind the scene. Maybe there's more to it. I really don't care. My policy rule is whatever you do in private life, I don't really want to know. There you go. So in overall, if I can sum it up in one word about the guy is, he's just a guy. He's the guy who gives his opinion and could be informative or not. So basically, in one word, what I think about AlphaOmegaSin, he's just a guy. There you go. A plain guy. A guy. Something like that. Alright, so maybe this one kind of hope, like I said, I have no beef or a problem with AlphaOmegaSin, but he's just a guy. Yeah, thanks for listening. Alright, this is going to be a follow-up on my thoughts on AlphaOmegaSin, and no, don't worry about it. I'm not going to be talking about AlphaOmegaSin. That's done. I think I said what I needed to be said. No need to make it longer than it is. So, it's not about AlphaOmegaSin, but this basically in general, basically of, I want to explain certain things that I kind of did on that video. First of all, what's with the disclaimer, and I said it before, I'm going to say it again, is that this is what you call drama, basically complaining, calling out someone in the YouTube community, maybe hopefully just either to rant, maybe to ruin this person's reputation, maybe of a personal vendetta, whatever. And it's always good, dangerous territory. That's why it's called drama, because it can also ruin someone's reputation. You probably could drag their name down the mud, per se, also. I mean, you kind of seen it. Well, if you follow the circle that I'm in 2008, there was called the Spax War, which is basically about Sonic. And there was a lot of drama, there was a lot of complaint, a lot of, I said this, she said this, let me explain what happened, da 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 da. I mean, they did really just never solve anything. It just made the community more sour, basically. That's what drama is all about. And of course, such as those big names. I mean, they've been talking about it now, and basically no exception with my video also. Even so, like I said, I was neutral, being objective to the best of my ability. Talking about someone on YouTube can always get in danger. So to anyone thinking about want to give you thoughts, you gotta be prepared that there's gonna be someone probably might post comment and call you out on it, basically, or maybe they're gonna get mad at you because why are you talking about this person that I respect, da 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 da. And again, like I said, not everyone likes someone, but it is what it is. That's basically something. It's a bit of a dangerous territory. That's why I kind of did a disclaimer about it, about my video about AlphaOmegaSin. Again, yeah, I don't have really problem with the guy, but he does what he does. That's all it is to it. So I'm moving on from there. Okay, so the question basically is that a good thing to do? Talk about something. You just have to be prepared about it. That's basically it. Because there have been videos I did basically calling out people, and people wasn't too happy about it. And again, it's within the rights of the person. That's just how it works. Okay, so with that also, there's going to be a lot of etiquette rule here. And a lot of things, and maybe might as well talk about it here, is when you're new to YouTube, or you're trying to understand YouTube etiquette rule, that's what I call it, there are certain things you don't want to do on YouTube or in any social media, because in MmGS Extend video, he did talk about some of the problem that, okay, I guess I'm kind of breaking my word here a bit, but let me just explain this particular part. MmGS Extend basically explained that he and his friends were saying that there have been because there was a problem with Alpha and Silent Rob. So there you go. And Talon basically said, "Man, Alpha, man, come on, can you do me a shout? I mean, I'm giving you a shout. How come you don't give me a shout out?" And somebody said that Alpha said he doesn't do shout out. Again, I mean, that's kind of like messed up a bit. I mean, if it wasn't for your fan, you wouldn't be where you're at, and you don't do shout out. I mean, I even do shout out myself, to some extent. I always give a prop where props is due. So, I mean, that's kind of messed up. But again, you have to understand that it's a community to the community. So sometimes shout outs are a good thing. Replying to your fans always a good thing. Because again, it makes you and the fan be relevant. Like, oh wow, cool. This guy is not popular. Like, he's willing to talk to me. Da 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 da. That's also one. Because he said that he didn't do he didn't even give Sound Rob a shout out or something. And then the story was, and the reason also the reason why all this even happened was, according to Sound Rob, he was invited by AlphaOmegaSin to go to Too Many Games convention about retro gaming. And basically, he went there, he saw AlphaOmegaSin, he was in the AlphaOmegaSin, I guess, I don't know, some sign-in. Like when you're a popular person, you sign in, you can have your autographs and stuff like that. And he called him, and then according to Silent Rob, Alpha basically sort of ignored him until later on. Oh, I didn't see you there because there was too many people. Kind of like saying, wow, so what, now you're big now because you're hanging out with the big boys, which is EVGN, Pat the Ennis Punk, Game Chaser, 8-Bit Eric. Alright, a lot about that also. We gotta also keep in mind that a lot of those people probably started small. They weren't that big. It's just whatever they did, how they got popular, it worked. That's really it. I mean, did they ask to get big? Probably not, but I'm just giving my 2 cents there. So, I mean, shout out. Because another one also apparently is that a fan of AlphaOmegaSin apparently did a tag on AlphaOmegaSin on Facebook, and Alpha went, basically got aggro from what I heard. Again, I'm hearing this from MmGS one. He went aggro, and he didn't like it. He said, please don't ever tag me on Facebook. I don't like it. Again, if you're signing Facebook, you are going to get tagged if you're that popular. And if you don't want to get tagged, then why are you in Facebook? I mean, if you got to understand that when you sign up, but you have to understand that social media, it's not Disneyland. You can't have your cake and eat it too. There will always going to be bad things with the good things on social media. And like I said, have a strong spine, ignore it. But again, this fan, he just basically said, hey, he's just tagging because I guess he likes AlphaOmegaSin. But then, again, if you're on Facebook, you're going to get tagged. You can't complain about it. On YouTube, shout-outs are always been a good thing. It does help you, not just about your channel, but a good relationship with you and your fan. Again, maybe I didn't ask for fan. Well, can't do anything about it. Whatever you're doing that you like, people like it too, so they're going to support you. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, another thing also, and this one a lot of people keep complaining about it. It's like, people will disagree with this. Disabling comments, disabling dislike and like, no matter what, it's a sign of coward. I did say that already before. I'm going to say it again. When you disable comments, disable likes and dislike, it is a sign of coward because you don't want the person to counter what you're saying. You just, you know what? Hey, man, I don't care what you say. I'm always right. Okay, well, prove it. The guy's countering you for argument that person's doing a matured argument with you, and what? Oh, you don't want him, because you don't want to look like a fool. Again, it is a coward. Blocking someone's a coward. All right, deleting comments, that's also coward. The rule of some of deleting comments is, unless if it's really getting out of hand, you're crossing that line, you're saying stupid things that can get you in trouble, then you shouldn't be deleting comments. If someone disagrees with you and basically counter your argument, don't delete their comments, please. That's a sign of coward. If the person just says something very inappropriate things, like they're talking about basically X-rated stuff, then yes, you don't want that That's kind of like saying you have your champagne cake. It's so beautiful, but guess what? In the corner, it has poop. Are you still gonna eat the cake, even though there's a little poop, a little Hershey poop in the corner? Probably not. So there you go. Yeah, so that's the follow-up. I just want to clarify about it. Like I said, talking about someone is always dangerous. Gotta be careful with it. That's why I always have to do a disclaimer, because people think, oh, you hate this person. What did they ever do to you? Nothing. I'm just giving my opinion of what they do, not as a person. There's always two things you have to understand. What they do and as a person. I can't give my opinion about AlphaOmegaSin as a person. Never met the guy in real life. Silent Rob can. He met the person in real life. There you go. That's a different thing. But what he does on YouTube, yeah, it's a different story. There you go. And then, of course, like I said, don't block comments, don't delete comments, unless if it's really X-rated, red flag. Because it's not a coward. Don't block comments, don't disable comments. Again, oh, it might ruin your reputation. Well, again, you're in a free country. I don't know what to say. Unless YouTubers are private, again, have some spine. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, that's it. So hopefully this clarification helped. Thanks for listening.
And I will be cutting it here. And in part 2 is going to be my thoughts on the whole situation of the Twitter war, AlphaOmegaSin versus MmGS X1. So stay tuned.